Coming up on ATV News.
It just smelled like we were having a campfire right in the living room.
We'll show you how one of the first wildfires of the year started.
I just really wish I had some sort of closure.
Why ending high school online is tough for some seniors.
This warehouse is normally used to manufacture bulletproof vests. I'll show you how it turned into this.
In sports, I'll show you why the Aggies are in need of a new starting point guard.
You've seen light snow and rain showers. I'll let you know what's coming up this week in weather.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
This is behind my house, and it is scary stuff.
One of Utah's first wildfires gave homeowners a scare this week. That fire was in my parents' backyard. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Adam Larson.
And I'm Lisa Feinstein. My co-anchor and I are in separate locations because of social distancing.
Wildfire season is coming to Utah soon. One of the first of the year just happened in my parents' backyard.
We got a little bit of a problem. This is going out of control behind our house right now.
Fire burning through a field started from a controlled burn of an irrigation ditch.
The firefighter said everything was fine and they took off and left, and not 2 minutes later, this field right behind me just started to go up in flames.
I saw this big flame, just flames, right here at the gate, at the fence. So I immediately called my husband and said, "John, fire, there's a fire." And so that's when things really started moving quickly, and you could feel the heat, and then soot just kept falling on us.
My parents say hundreds of cars were driving down this road to try and see the fire, but that made it hard for fire trucks to come in to be able to fight it. Police had to turn people away right here to keep them at a safe distance and allow the firefighters to come in and fight the fire.
It got a little scary, you know, all the onlookers, and I get the excitement of it. You don't see a fire this big every day right in the middle of the city.
Larson says if the field had to burn, he's glad it burned when it did.
Probably better to have that fire in the spring when it's not quite as dry, and so to have it now in the spring instead of the summer after a lightning strike, you know, this may have saved us from a bigger problem later in the summer. We even had a couple fire trucks get stuck in the mud, because after it got cleared, they were finally able to go in, and they were, you know, with picks and axes, they were knocking out all the hot spots, making sure nothing flared up after the fire was over.
The fire's not the only thing the Larsons are dealing with.
Well, the timing of this, we've had the coronavirus, we've had an earthquake, and now we just had a big fire in our field. So if anything, it did bring our neighborhood together.
There were no injuries, and the city is estimating the cost of damages.
Smithfield police say they found a man unresponsive after a car hit him. Police say around 4:50 Saturday morning, a car hit 77-year-old Larold Nyman while he was crossing Main Street and 100 South. The driver of the car was northbound when Nyman walked west across Main Street on his way to the laundromat. Police say the driver couldn't see Nyman crossing because it was dark. After interviewing the driver, police found no evidence of impairment and released the driver with no charges.
Utah schools will finish out the school year online.
We need to extend the soft closure of our public schools through the remainder of the school year.
Governor Gary Herbert announced that schools will remain online for the rest of the school year to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. High school senior Claire Champagne says learning online at home has been a struggle to stay focused, and it's been hard not to see her friends. She says the hardest part is she can't participate as a senior class officer and plan graduation activities.
It's just hard because there was absolutely no closure for me. I just left school on a Friday in March thinking I was going to be back the next week, and it turns out I won't ever be back.
In addition to senior class officer, Champagne participated in volleyball, track and field, Hope Squad, and choir. She says she plans to attend Utah State in the fall.
A former cop in Ogden put his business of making bulletproof vests on pause to help his community. I took a trip to see what he did with his 7,000 square foot warehouse.
You can take as much as you need. The others, keep it down to a couple meals.
More people are in need of groceries as they lose their jobs.
We're pushing out 4,000 pounds of food a day to people that need it.
Right now, there's about $97,000 worth of food in this 7,000 square foot warehouse. But these aren't the usual supplies that are lining these shelves. Advanced armor technology makes protective gear for anyone, from teachers to law enforcement.
It is also stab-proof certified, and we only penetrate 3 layers.
But what do bulletproof vests and canned soup have in common?
Oh, you're welcome. Come on in, man. Our slogan on our building is "Stay alive, life's too short." This is the same thing. We need people to, calm down and realize that there is people there for them.
So owners took manufacturing out of this warehouse and put in Tri-City Exchange.
It's a food bank like no other in our state, and where if you have something, drop it off so that somebody else can use it. If you need something, come and get it.
The pantry is stocked with these donations from companies like Lee's Marketplace, Associated Foods, Nicholas Foods, but mostly
our community, from the citizens to the business owners, have just came out of the woodwork to help. It's incredible. I, in a million years, wouldn't have expected this type of support.
I've delivered to one lady where she actually fell to the ground in tears because she had food for her and her children. It just truly is amazing to see the gratitude and the relief that we're giving to people.
It's great, and it's great to see those people that are very humble and they didn't want to come or they can't qualify for food bank regular.
Hey buddy, did you get you a little car?
And so they can come in here and they can get what they need and they can make sure that their family's taken care of too.
Larson says they got the place up and running in less than 72 hours and have been helping close to 300 people a day. For more details like hours or how to donate, check our Facebook page.
Gyms and fitness centers may reopen after a statement the Bear River Health Department released on Monday. The guidelines include employees who are sick will not be permitted to work. Visitors will be screened prior to entry, and if they have symptoms consistent with COVID-19, they cannot enter the facility. Only one individual is allowed per 100 square feet. All equipment must be disinfected after each use. No team or group activities. The locker rooms and shower areas will not be used. No sign-in sheets, touchpads, or touch surfaces will be required to enter the facility. The health department recommends those over the age of 60 and with underlying health conditions not to use the facility. They also recommend that people cover their mouth and nose as much as possible when inside the facility.
It's been 3 months since the United States reported its first case of COVID-19. Johns Hopkins University says the U.S. has reported over 600,000 positive cases. Over 27,000 people have died, while over 50,000 people have recovered from the virus nationally. Reported global cases are over 2 million. Over 132,000 people have died. More than 500,000 people have now recovered from the virus around the world. Utah reports 2,412 positive cases and 19 deaths from COVID-19. Bear River Health Department says Cache and Box Elder counties have 48 positive cases. 8 of those are hospitalized.
Have you had the coronavirus? Would you even know if you did?
ATV's Shay Densley shows us how One Logan Company can help you find out.
Qantas Bioscience has been creating antibody test kits for malaria. Now they're making test kits for COVID-19.
If you have antibodies that have reacted to that virus, those antibodies will stick to that protein. We can then detect whether antibodies are stuck to that protein or not and give someone a result of you have antibodies, you've been exposed to the virus.
Qantas wants people to know if they have the coronavirus because they say it's
critical in getting the economy up and going again, letting people know that they can go out and be safe to be close to other people or without getting themselves sick or somebody else sick.
Brown says Qantas is working hard on creating antibody test kits because they get inquiries from all over the world.
Boxes like this one will be sent to labs all over the nation to test for the coronavirus. Each box can test up to 90 samples.
The antibody test kits can also detect if an asymptomatic person had the virus, which can help people who weren't aware they had the virus No, they can most likely go back into the world without getting sick. Although it's harder to get sick after developing antibodies, Baumgartner says,
we have to let research and science catch up before we can definitively say, you have an antibody, you're immune.
antibodies or not, the test kit can show in 2 hours if you had the coronavirus, giving answers to those wondering if they had it. Shay Densley, ATV News.
You can find more information about Kwanzas and their test kits by clicking the link in our Facebook page.
On Tuesday. The United States Geological Survey says it was a magnitude 4.2. This map shows how far away people felt it.
That earthquake was pretty crazy. You could feel it here at my parents' house in South Jordan. It's actually pretty cold and rainy outside right now, but the current temperature in Logan is 45 degrees.
And we're growing stuff and we're not going to slow down and we're not going to stop.
Coming up, you'll see how farmers are adapting to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We care. They're part of our family.
We'll show you what one group of volunteers did to brighten some people's day.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Cash Employment and Training Center is a local nonprofit that helps disabled adults in the community. Since the school district closed, CETC clients have not been allowed to come in. Brandon Dean shows you how 6 employees are still helping their clients.
This group of employees volunteered their time to make signs for the 22 clients in their area. That group left here today to deliver handmade signs to the clients, letting them know how much they're missed. At every house, they would play the client's favorite song, letting them know how much they care.
Never bothered me anyway.
In Discovery Activities, we are like a family, and our clients are part of that family. They are the reason why we get up and go do our job every day.
While most maintained social distance, some were so overwhelmed they could not help themselves. The clients were all happy to see their friends and said,
I miss them all.
You miss them all?
I miss everybody at work.
Some would dance. Others would smile. But they all appreciated the visit. Brandon Dean, ATV News.
Heyo!
Cash Employment and Training Center is still open for the staff to do jobs the clients normally would do. And Nathaniel Gillis is joining us remotely for weather. How's it looking out there, Nate?
Thanks, Adam. Welcome to this edition of ATV Weather. I'm Nathaniel Gillis. As we can see from the national forecast, that severe storm that hit Florida, Georgia, South Carolina is officially being pushed out of the United States to the east towards the ocean. As we look to the more northern part, we can actually see over towards the Illinois, Michigan, and Indiana area. There's some light to moderate rain going on, and that also going on in the western part with mid-California. We can see that light to moderate rain. Up here in the northern part of the Midwest, we can see that Utah, Idaho, and Montana are being hit by some scattered shower storms. Looking at the state radar here in Utah, we can see that from about Salt Lake all the way up to the southern part of Idaho, that there is the light to moderate rain. And that is definitely affecting Logan. And as we can see from the 7-day forecast, that today we had some light snow in the morning. Right now we're having some light to moderate rain. And due to the fact that the low tonight is 28 degrees, it's actually gonna bring us to tomorrow with that 30% chance of light snow in the morning. But we don't have to worry about it too much. It should melt by the end of the day. Moving on to Friday, we can see that that temperature is gonna increase, going up to 48 degrees from that 42. And that it's gonna be a nice sunny day for the whole day. That sunny day is going to continue on to the weekend into Saturday with the high of 57, and then we're going to start seeing some clouds on Sunday with the high of 60. Monday is actually going to be our peak of our 7-day forecast for with 62 degrees being the high. And then we're going to see a slight dip going into Tuesday with a chance of rain going on there. Possibly a cold front moving in, and then we might experience some more rain, but overall it looks like that we are going on the up. Thank you for watching this edition of ATV Weather. Back to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Nathaniel. While Nathaniel was scouting out the weather, he talked to some farmers in Arkansas about how they're adjusting to the pandemic.
Shoveling dirt, plowing the field, and handling chickens are part of this local farm's daily life. Despite COVID-19, supply hasn't slowed down, and farmers say they had to adapt the way they think about selling goods.
Within 24 hours, our farm stand was closed down, the restaurants weren't ordering, and it was like, oh my goodness, we have hundreds of pounds of food that we have to get rid of.
Normally, hundreds of people gather Saturday mornings for the farmers market here in the square. But with COVID-19, rural farmers are planning on bringing the food to the people.
Although they are still harvesting for delivery, these farmers are excited about the potential.
I think a lot of people really like that they can say, no, we don't eat, Brussels sprouts, but we really eat spinach, so could we have a bunch of spinach?
Whether on a nice sunny day or a cold and cloudy one, farmers can't take a break from their responsibilities.
It's just a very concrete thing that you're doing. It's very task-oriented, like we're covering these plants, or we're planting these, or we're weeding this. And so you can kind of zone out and kind of forget the pandemic is happening, basically.
Farm managers say they are excited about the farm growth, but are sad about the circumstances around it. Nathaniel Gillis, ATV News.
Farm managers say to make sure you're washing your produce before cooking.
I'll show you where the experts think Jordan Love will land in this year's draft.
This is too much for you. You can just grab your wrist or hold your elbows.
And we'll show you a way to de-stress during the pandemic.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
So how much longer do you think we're going to be studying for?
Probably another hour or so.
Okay.
Where have you been? Do you know how long I've been waiting? I don't care. What did you even get? You don't do anything right. Is that what I said? What are you good for? You're such an idiot. You know, you drive me crazy. I've been texting you, you don't respond to me. You make me talk to you this way. This isn't what I want. You do this. You're the dumb one. Why am I with you?
Corners wide open, passes on the three.
Turns out this was Abel's last game as an Aggie. Welcome to another quarantined edition of ATV Sports. I'm Jonathan May. Abel Porter is headed to The Ohio State University. The point guard is using his final year of eligibility to be a Buckeye. Abel started every game this year, averaging 5.6 points per game, playing 25.7 minutes per game. The NBA regular season was supposed to end today, so I did an Instagram poll for Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and MVP. 26 people casted their votes. Let's see what happened. Let's start off with Defensive Player of the Year. The majority of the votes went to, drumroll please, Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. 47% of people picked the All-Star center. Rudy is averaging 2 blocks per game along with 13 rebounds per game. Now for Rookie of the Year. This one wasn't even close. 88% of people picked Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja averaged 17.6 points per game with 6.9 assists per game. Last but certainly not least is the MVP. The NBA is full of superstars, but there can only be one MVP as we know. So 52% of people picked LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. King James is averaging 25.7 points per game along with 10.6 assists. This is the first time in LeBron's career he's averaged double digits in assists. Now, ESPN reports that the NBA is discussing a 25-day return to basketball once given clearance. If the NBA does come back, who's going to win the title? I did another Instagram poll to find out. 63% of people picked the Los Angeles Lakers to win it all. Before the season was put on hold, the Lakers were sitting at the top of the Western Conference. Now switching gears to the NFL. Jordan Love is projected to be a top pick in this year's NFL draft, but who's going to pick him? ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. has Love rated the 3rd best quarterback in the draft and predicted he'll be picked by the Los Angeles Chargers. If Love goes off the board early, he would be the first Aggie selected in the first round since 1970. We'll find out where Love ends up next week. Now you're all caught up on ATV Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, John. Coronavirus has people around the world separated and staying at home and stressed. Austin Elder shows you how some of them are coping.
That's right, Adam. I met with people before social distancing, and they say that yoga and meditation are great ways to cope through stress.
Utah State students and teachers meet weekly to meditate in the dark. They say the practice helps to reduce the stresses of school.
The first thing to do is to just breathe. This is one of the best things you can do. Neither the past nor the future exist. The only thing that ever exists is this moment right now, and this is where life happens. That's why in mindfulness meditation, we try to focus on this moment because it's really all we ever have.
If this is too much for you, you can just grab your wrists or hold your elbows.
Yoga for me personally is a way to ground myself in this busy, chaotic world. We believe that no matter who you're taught by or who you're taught from, the real teacher is within yourself. To learn from yourself and be open to that space is important. You learn that every day on your mat.
It's about bringing all the aspects of life together. Mindful meditation at home is one thing, and then coming to a community where there are people who are sharing similar interests has really helped me keep afloat through my studies here.
In your own life, trying to juggle school responsibilities, work responsibilities, and social life, things can get hectic. Souter says, taking a few moments to focus on your breath and the present moment can make all the difference for your mental health and happiness while juggling responsibilities.
It's really quite simple, but it's not easy.
Austin Elder, ATV News.
To see how you can practice yoga and meditation at your own home, check out the link on our Facebook page. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Austin. The Society of Professional Journalists awards college students from all over for their work. This year, the SPJs are holding weekly college coronavirus coverage awards for students covering the pandemic. Our own Lisa Feinstein got an honorable mention with this week's winners. Congrats, Lisa.
Thanks, Adam. It definitely feels great to have some hard work pay off. Thanks for watching this edition of ATV News.
You can catch all of the latest editions on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with some shots of the fire in South Jordan.
In Utah, 1 in 8 women and 1 in 50 men will be raped. Also in Utah, 1 in 3 women will experience sexual violence. Of the completed and attempted rapes against college women, less than 5% will actually be reported. Sexual assault should not be a part of the college experience. Always get consent.
Consent for sexual activity is enthusiastic.
Consent is sober.
Consent is non-coerced.
Consent is verbal.
Consent is mutual.
If you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault, report it at reportingsa.usu.edu.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming, and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.